This is how you edit videos for social media in Adobe Premiere Pro. Once I have my project open, the first thing I'm going to do is basically select the clips that I want to get. And really quickly, I'm just going to put something together and okay, so I want to get this shot and then first couple seconds of this, and I'm going to just erase that. So my clip is not scaled appropriately. Let me scale it, make sure it's set where I want it, and then let me come over here, remove this fade in. Let me center this a little bit. Okay, so we have my clip, we have my video, what I'm gonna export. Usually that's step one to your video. Usually in social media videos, we also have captions. So how you're gonna add captions is you wanna go up here to your text panel. If you don't see it, just hit window and then find text and click it or drag it to your workstation over here on the side, and then go to transcript, hit transcribe, and then it's gonna transcribe your video, really your audio, to find any dialogue in there, and then it's gonna basically create a transcription of what you say. I should note while it's processing, you want to do this part at the end of the video. Once you have the final cut, the final version of your video, you don't want to do this and then go and make more changes. It won't necessarily mess with your captions. I guess it can, but just to kind of save yourself the headache and the extra work, just do this last. Do this part last. And you can avoid headaches and adjusting your captions and all that stuff. This is kind of a tedious process. It's not bad, but it does kind of take some time, because once this is done processing, you'll see, then you go in and size the captions and make them look how you want them to look and stuff like that. And then you kind of make sure everything is spelled correctly. You sync it all, make sure it's all synced correctly. So it does take some time, but it's not bad. Okay, so it took forever and a day to analyze that little bit of text. It's okay, we let Adobe think and do its thing, and then it gives us what we want. So now we have our transcript, but you can see we don't have captions on our video yet. So really what we have is just the text. Now we have to create the graphics, create the captions. So then you want to hit, you wouldn't click here like you think. I mean, I guess you can. Honestly, I don't use this button. Usually I just hit these three dots right here, hit create captions, and here this captions settings box, the only thing I really adjust is length of characters. I haven't found a really sweet spot, but usually I go with like 30. Everything else stays the same, and I always hit single line. If you don't mind double line captions, then that's a preference thing, but for me, I like everything to be just on one line. So 30 characters, one line, and then you can see it creates our captions, and you can see them right there in the bottom, but that's not where I want them. So we're gonna click and drag to highlight all of them. Go over to, okay, so it's your properties panel. I was struggling to find this. I thought it was called Essential Graphics, but the properties panel. So if yours isn't popping up, just go to window, properties, click and drag it to where you want it. And this is the tab where you're going to edit your captions. So you want to click and drag all your captions up here, and then this little proportion box thing, I guess we'll bring it back down since my face is pretty up high, and then you just adjust from here. I want them to be like maybe right there. We'll adjust the font size to make it a little bit bigger. Make your font whatever font you want. Okay, let me compensate for the font. All right, there we go. And then it already has a shadow. Here you can kind of customize it a little bit more, however to your liking. What I do is you can change the color here. So let me just do that real quick so y'all can see what that looks like. So I'm changing my color, and then I have my drop shadow on. Here's what it looks without the drop shadow. You can't really see it, but so the shadow just adds like a nice little kind of, it just lifts the text a little bit more from video. So it's nice to just kind of keep that on. So that's how you would edit your captions. Now, I didn't make sure that it's all right. It is in terms of spelling and all that, but of course you can just do that. Let's just, if there was a misspelling, I can just double click here on the text tab, captions, double click, and I can edit the captions live. Last year I went captions. I was typing what I was saying. Last year I went camping. That's not true, but so that's it. And then I would just click out of that to save that, and then that's your captions. So now you've cut your video, you've added your captions, you've customized them, you've color corrected your video. I didn't show color correction in this video, but I showed it in a different video, and I'll link it so you can check that one out if you need help on that. But so you're probably ready to export at this point, but if not, I'm just gonna kind of throw this in here real quick. If you wanted to add like a B-roll shot or something, you just simply import whatever you're trying, just simply import whatever you're trying to use as B-roll. In this case, I just grabbed an image from my computer, drag it, add it to your timeline, and then you can go to your effects control tab and then play with the scale and the position of it as much as you want. You can either full screen the B-roll. And there's only 2 days left in 2024, which is crazy. And so you've just added B-roll. Now, if you're seeing it in my screen, you'll see that it looks kind of blurry. It looks okay when the video's not playing, but if I play it, it looks like super pixely. How we can see the video at its fullest resolution is we render the video. So basically, make sure your in and out points are set for this. That's these markers right here. And then go to your sequence and hit render in to out, and it'll render your video. This is kind of like the buffering, the same thing as like buffering in Netflix. So you're just kind of loading your video, and this will allow you to play back the video in full resolution so you can get a better idea of what it's really going to look like, and it won't look so pixely and stuff. Obviously, the longer your video, the bigger the file size, the longer it takes to render. But so now we're done, and our video, you can see, looks a lot cleaner. It is December 29th. It's not as pixely. 2 days left in 2024. I'm waiting. Which is crazy. So there's the B-roll shot. It's not as pixely as our last preview was. And how I full screen that is I just hit this button right here on my keyboard. I don't know, it's the little accent key under the escape key. And you just click on your program window here, hit that, and it'll full screen your video preview. Anyway, I think I'm rambling, but now we're ready to export. Command M on Mac, and then you're in your export tab. If you don't, I don't know the shortcut for PC, but you can also always just go to File, Export, Media, and then here you label your project whatever you want to label it. I'm just gonna put making coffee, and for the sake of the example, I'm just gonna save it to my desktop. I don't like saving to my desktop. Don't save to your desktop. Get an external hard drive, but we're gonna save to the desktop in this case. So you can see here these black bars that you see on the side of the screen. If you export this way, it's not gonna export 1080 by 1920, the vertical video that you need for social media. It's gonna export with these black bars. So what you need to do is change this preset to just do match source, medium bitrate, or you can do high bitrate. It just increases your file size. I just always go medium, and this usually for social media videos, like it's not that deep. So I just kind of hit medium bitrate. I'm not shooting 4K videos or anything like that, so I don't need anything crazy. So match source, medium bitrate is a good kind of default. And then format, you don't need to change that. Everything else stays the same. You can see here your export, specify the range to export. So this is just gonna export your in to out points. If you didn't have your in and out points, I'll show you what it does after this. But basically now after you've done this, you're ready to export. You can see the black bars are gone. And so you hit export and now it'll just process through. While that is going, I'll just say, if you don't set the in and out points, it's not a big deal if you don't have anything on your timeline, which is like this section here. But for example, if this was my chopped video, everything in this section here, and I had a couple shots over here that I ended up not using, well, if I didn't set my in and out points, the whole time, everything on this timeline would export. So, you know, if you're the type to like edit but then leave shots and things on the timeline that you don't use, that you didn't use in the final video, you should probably get used to setting these ins and out points, just because it'll just save you from exporting things that you didn't mean to export. So that's what the in and out markers do. I don't know why this video is taking so long. Oh, I know why. It's taking forever to export right now because I'm running the screen recording and the OBS and all that stuff to capture this video. So, okay, I'm asking a lot of my computer right now. It's doing like 4 different things that take a lot of like bandwidth to do. So that being said, I'm going to cancel this export, but that's how you would export your video for social media. I hope this was helpful, and thanks for watching.